Unlike most jobs, there's no clear path to becoming a director. Going to film school does not guarantee a directing job after, and there's rarely a job opening under director online. Some people get there at 21, and some spend their whole life trying and never succeed. The same goes for being an animation director. Some start out as animators, some story artists, and some transition from live action, never having animated a day in their life. If you spend your time trying to find some formula, chances are you're gonna get disappointed. So how does one become an animation director? Animation directors like Andrew Stanton, Richard Williams, and John Lasseter were animators before they became directors. And that's probably the more common way to go about it, since animators are very involved in the storytelling aspect of the film. Honestly, that was the path I always imagined myself pursuing. Getting hired as an animator at a big studio like Disney or Pixar, and then slowly climbing up the ranks until I became a director. I quickly learned though that this way was not for me. First of all, I wasn't accepted to any of the big studios. But even if I did, I realized that I would be working as a junior animator for so many years, and it will probably take me almost a decade to get to a place where someone would even consider making me a director. And even then, the chances are close to zero. So for me, the path of working as one of hundreds other animators for 10 years, just for the chance of maybe being noticed, didn't seem like a very safe plan. Not a very fun one too. So instead what I did was create a little cube and a little ball and made my own film. And then I made another one. And I'll probably make some more. So guess what? I'm a director now. Nobody officially gave me a director license. I just made movies. And that's the only certain thing I can tell you about how to become a director. Start making movies. So if you're going to choose the director's path of making your own films, I suggest starting with short films. Making a feature film is a goal that might take a very long time to achieve, and is not a realistic goal for animation if you're just starting out. And as for what your films should be about, I suggest keeping them super simple. Simple characters, simple environment, and focus on a good story. When I started working on Lift Up, the story itself came from my limitations of not having good modeling skills. That's why the film is about a cube and a ball. I just didn't know how to model better than that. And if you want to read more about it, I wrote an entire ebook about the process of making that film. But I did it and I had a film finished. Just make sure that when you make that film, you focus on storytelling skills. Because that's what people are looking for in a director. The skills of being a good director are mostly about being a good storyteller, as well as understanding pacing, composition, and acting. These are all skills that a good animator should have as well. So if you're coming from animation, it might be easier for you. Focus on showing off these skills in your short, showing interesting compositions and cinematography, not fancy renders or complex modeling, but good storytelling. And that really is the best advice I can give you about how to become an animation director. Know what your skills are and use them to create the most simple film you can that has a good story and shows good storytelling skills. Remember, no one can make you a director. It has to come from you. Grab a camera, a pencil, or a tablet and go make a film. Make it 30 seconds long, it doesn't matter. If it's good, people will watch it. And if you do it over and over, you will be noticed and might get that directing job you wanted. Thanks for watching. And if you want to learn more about how to become an animator, check out our animation courses library at bloopanimation.com/ourcourses.